Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back to That Kevin Show from Times Square. It's Kevin McCullough. Glad to have you with us. And on Mondays, we emphasize our discussion to be about money a little more than the rest of the week. And one of the tools I've been telling you about for the last few weeks with my great new sponsor, Movement Mortgage, is the incredible reverse mortgage option, especially if you're 62 or over and you're still making a mortgage payment and you own your home. You've been told scary things like you're going to lose it or it's going to hurt your situation in ways. What if we could tell you that you could improve your cash flow, still build equity in your home, and keep your home with the reverse mortgage? That's the actual message that doesn't get told everywhere else. That's why I've loved working with Harlan Acola, who is with Movement Mortgage. And by the way, if you want any of the information that we're going to talk about, go to thathomecash.com. If you need cash, go to thathomecash.com. That's how simple it is. Harlan, good to see you. A new administration is moving in. Policies are going to change, but for some people, the situation doesn't improve drastically immediately. And I'm thinking specifically, you were pointing me to some articles recently about widows and what they are facing, particularly if they're still making mortgage payments. Can you tell me a little bit about what you found?
Well, 25 years ago, Kevin, I got into this business because of widows, because I cared about people that lost their husbands, they're in their 70s, they're in their 80s. And they just, everything changed when their husband died, their Social Security went down. They, of course, were hurt socially and emotionally, but they were also hurt financially because most people don't realize that widows' income decreases by 40% when their husband dies. And most of the time, it is the widow that is left, not the widower. Men die first. And so there are hundreds of thousands of more widows than there are widowers, and they are forced to live alone usually 5 to 10 years after their husband dies. Financially, it's a big problem. And what's unusual about this is a lot of people say, well, reverse mortgages rip off the widows. And in fact, I once had somebody tell me, oh, you're the one that takes houses away from widows. No, I'm the one that keeps them in the house and makes their life better. It's the opposite of what you're thinking. Because as I progressed in my business over the last 25 years, I realized that it's not about trying to help the 80-year-old widow. It's about talking to the 65-year-old couple and telling them to get things in place and prepared, because there isn't one husband that I've talked to ever that said, I hope my wife has problems after I die. I really don't care what her financial situation is. I'm just going to take care of us. And if after I die, she can fend for herself. Nobody thinks that, but right. Millions of husbands are leaving their wives in a very difficult situation, still making a mortgage payment when they don't have to. It just drives me nuts.
So let's talk about this from a practical standpoint. If widowhood is as widespread as it appears to be in all these articles, how does the reverse mortgage best help them?
So I would recommend to everybody once they turn 62 to do exactly what I did. I did a reverse mortgage to make my mortgage payment optional, even though I was still working, I'm still working, can afford to make a mortgage payment. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. But as soon as I turned 62, I immediately went to a reverse mortgage and made it optional. When we were taking off on the airplane just a day later, my wife was sitting next to me and we were taking off for a little vacation, and she squeezed my hand and said, all that stuff you've been talking about to other people, I really can stay in the house for the rest of my life, even if something happens to you. And I was in tears. I squeezed her hand back because up to that point, it was always somebody else. Now it was us. And the fact is that if you do that, even if somebody wants to make a mortgage payment, and if my wife wanted to sell the house, if she wants to move, if she wants to stay in the house, it is now 100% up to her, and she never has to worry about whether or not she has a place to live for the rest of her life. that wasn't a complicated thing for me to do. I just understood it better than most because that's my business. But if I could talk to any husband out there for a half hour, he would clearly understand this is what I should do now. Not when a crisis happens, not when something goes wrong, but right now. And when things are fine and the sun's out and there isn't any storm, now is the time to take care of things, not after you're dead and the wife is scrambling trying to figure out what to do.
Friends, the way it works is somewhat simple. You just reverse your mortgage and you let the equity or a portion of your equity improve your cash flow. You're not losing your house. And in many cases, your house continues to build equity because the value of the houses continue to go up. And what you use is far less than the total amount that you have in it. And so it's not even an issue of losing the house or in any way not leaving a legacy for your family or anything else. This is a tool specifically for those of you who are 62 years of age or older. You've been buying your house. You want to be prepared. You want to free up cash flow. You want to stay in your home. You want to do all the things that you want to do. Maybe you want to help causes that you believe in and you've never been able to because you're making these enormous payments. Harlan, I like to think of it as someone who would still be paying into their pension after they retired. Nobody would do that. But it's kind of the same idea. Oh, I'm still going to pay into my IRA even though I no longer work. No, the reason that you have invested in this investment is so that you have what you need to be able to use when you need to use it. We just don't normally think of our mortgages in that way.
You know, that's so true. Over in Europe, in one of the reverse mortgages in a country over there, I can't think of which one it is right now, but they call it a home pension. And that's really a good explanation of it because it's just simply something that you put money in. Now you can take it out. I put enough money into our house. So have millions of other people. Why continue to put money in so that your wife has a whole bunch of money tied up in the house after you're gone? And besides that, why not make some memories? I was just walking with my wife yesterday thinking about the vacations that we went on with our kids because we don't have a mortgage payment and all of those memories that we share together of when we were in the mountains in Austria and when we were together with our kids in the Eiffel Tower and hiking on a glacier in Iceland. I would have never been able to do those things if I wouldn't have properly planned.
209-702-0007.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.